Good morning, good morning, do 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 do. Good morning to you. Cheers. This is my little monkey friend that I think of when I do a whoopsie daisy, like, ooh, whoopsie daisy. Yeah, that's helpful because we have mess ups and flubs and accidents, and we can get tight and contract around it, resist it, or we can laugh it off and use it as an opportunity to elevate our brain state. So today's microdosing tool will be a whoopsie daisy story. But first, let me say good morning. Happy day. Welcome to a daily dose of joy. We're here this morning together to set the intention to dose our brains with positive neurotransmitters and create a life and a mindset that is defaulting to joy and song and laughter and stories, good stories. Our days can be full of tragedy and woe, or really good stories. And so, Whoopsie Daisy Stories are a 5-minute microdosing tool where you call a buddy and you share a story. And it can be something that just happened. It can be something from your childhood. It could be a story that your friend told you that illustrates the idea that we all make mistakes and that the power is in the being able to laugh at it and find the humor, as opposed to getting stuck in the surface level discomforts and irritations and missing out on the deeper truth of our life. So it's just a skill and a tool to build, as well as storytelling is an awesome way to engage the prefrontal cortex and take us out of that reactive reptilian brain and the fight or flight mechanism. The humor part is also really helpful to dosing our brain. So when we do a whoopsie daisy story, we're going to sort of intentionally laugh and giggle along the way. If you're doing it with a buddy, so on the microdosing line, we'll call up on the microdosing line and I'll say, whoopsie daisy story, and somebody will pop in, yeah. And so if they're just 2 of us, but there could also be 4 of us, and in that case, we do it round robin. I'll tell one, someone will tell one, and we'll go around. And so if I'm doing it by myself, like I'm going to do with you this morning, I'll just tell the story to a friend on the phone, and we may not have the time, or it may not be the moment for them to tell one back to me, but often it's like how laughter is contagious. Often if you tell a whoopsie daisy story, it triggers in other people a great free association in their mind to, oh, that reminds me of when. In my laughter group, that's one of the things we do that primes us along the way, sort of a prompt. I'll tell a whoopsie daisy story, and then sure enough, it's like wildfire. And as your family gets used to it and your friends, it's a really fun way to connect in a joyful, positive, playful way. It's a great way to be engaged in the world as opposed to being focused on what's stressing you out, as sharing that as a way of engaging. So I hope y'all will begin to play with us and give it a try. So I'm going to tell a story that came up the other day. And it's actually happened in sort of 2 versions in my life, but I'm going to tell the one where it happened with my son. And it's a Googling whoopsie daisy. And then I'm going to tell a wonderful whoopsie daisy that I heard on the microdosing line from another buddy, my friend Linda. And she said I was welcome to share it. We really encourage each other to share the whoopsie daisy stories because it just is more tools in our toolbox, more in our arsenal to elevate our state, to connect with the people around us in a joyful, playful way. So those are the 2 I'm going to tell this morning. And just like we do on the line, if you would please, just choose to sort of intentionally giggle quietly, laugh quietly, and that primes your brain to be able to laugh if something in the story tickles you and is funny. And if not, you're getting all the positive benefits with just the gentle and easy. All right, that's how we do a Whoopsie Daisy story and a microdosing tool. So I'm going to check my timer and tell you my first Whoopsie Daisy story. So, and if you're telling it, it's great to laugh and giggle along the way too. So this one, all I have to do is think about the images in my head that go with this story. So I have some significant amount of art in my background in design, and my son has also taken an interest in design and art, and we were both working on kind of illustrating and drawing more realistic things. So we had this beautiful jug sitting out, and had just kind of a little still life, and we were drawing it, and he was finding it really challenging. And so he was like, well, can we look at one online? Because he's learned if you look at a two-dimensional flat picture as you're learning to draw, sometimes that can help your brain a little bit to understand where the lines are. And so I was like, sure. And so we go onto the computer and Google up jug, because he was looking to see like a picture of a jug, a line drawing of a jug, to help him get an idea and give him a little prompt. And so a bunch of these little jugs came up, and so he was like, no, I want to do a big jug. So he leans to the computer and starts typing in big jugs. Big jugs. Yes, and he was about 11 at the time. And I'm like, whoa. And I get there too late. And what you can imagine came up when you type into Google big jugs. Oh my, the look on his face was like, and the Whoopsie Daisy is like, I actually come from this background where we've really preserved childhood, very, very low media use in the house. And then here's his mommy introducing him to the darker interwebs, Oh, God. Oh, my. And he'll still occasionally talk about it and bring it up to friends, what he saw when he Googled big jugs. And he was not told to do this by some 14-year-old friend from the neighborhood. No, that all came about right under the wing of his mommy. Whoopsie Daisy. Oh, all right. So then the second Whoopsie Daisy story I have to share, the one from my friend Linda. She was at a lovely, I believe, social distancing sort of barbecue. And one of her neighbors was inside getting his beer and his plate, and then but heading back out to the grill. And he walks out through like some beautiful French doors. He's walking out on this beautiful patio. And she and her husband are already out on the patio, sort of socializing. But she's a very kind, sensitive person. She notices out of the corner of his eye, he walks out and looks sort of startled, befuddled, and then walks back in. And then she sees him pop back out again a few minutes later. Still looking befuddled, walk back in. Then she sees him pop out and start crawling around on the floor and on the ground. So she kindly goes up and says, hey, John, how can I help you? What's going on? He said, well, I have these beautiful new prescription glasses. the dialed in perfect to my eyes needs, and they have the light changing lenses, and, sort of invested in these things. And one of the lenses has popped out. And so the world is a little blurry. Things aren't so clear for me right now. But I think I should try and find this lens. And I know it's got to be right here because I was inside and I could see 20/20. And then I stepped outside and the world got really blurry. And so she's like, okay, so it's got to be here. And so she calls over her husband. She calls over another friend. They've got a quarter of the party down on their hands and knees, crawling in and out these French doors, going like, it has to be here, right? Like he took 2 steps and his vision changed. It's got to be here. And they couldn't find it. And the sweet friend John was finally like, oh, this is a party. We got to just let this go. Let's all sit down and enjoy our beer and our barbecue. And they sit down at the table. And, poor guy can't see quite so clearly anymore. And somebody says, John, what's that? What's that in your beer? His lids had popped out and fallen right into his beer. And he couldn't see it. And then he had all these people, down on the ground looking while he's holding his beer up here. And they're all down there on the ground looking for it. All they needed to do is look up. Whoopsie daisy. Things happened. Oh, she said everybody got a great laugh out of it. Just, oh man. And, just rejoicing like they had been on this team effort to find this thing and it was found in the bottom of a beer glass. And when she said it, I was like, that is a great, beer goggles story, Just hold that thing. Oh, now I can see, Oh. Ah. Big jugs and beer goggles. Big jugs and beer goggles. That's my inappropriate Whoopsie Daisy stories for today. Oh boy. I love starting my day with a Whoopsie Daisy microdosing tool. As it doses my brain, but also it sets this great intention. It puts my whole day in focus because, stuff happens. And it gets me in a great frame of mind to laugh, to choose to laugh, and know that I'm always capable of laughing at things that seem very dire and serious in the moment. Oh, I mean, they do. Things that are so serious in the moment. So serious. Matter of fact, I don't know if I told y'all this one. Not sure. I might have mentioned it already, but I was just laughing at myself of a day very recently where I'm working on setting up this formatting for my son's phone so that it kind of limits. He's very new to having any phone access. He just has some phone and some texting access. But even that it shuts off at a certain point. It's very limited each day. And I was acting like very serious when the technology was not formatting correctly. And I'm pretty tech savvy, but we just ran into some glitches, ended up being the phone, but it was like a hardware problem. But at the time, very serious moments about it not working. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. I've got to, in the big picture of life, this is nothing. There is no life or death situation. Nobody has been maimed, injured, or died from over-texting. He has not worn his thumbs down to bloody nubs. It is all fine. And it became so funny. And when I laughed about that in front of my son, he just lost all the tension around it too. It was really, really great opportunity for a Whoopsie Daisy story. So I hope that we have set some intention and opportunity for you to laugh at whatever might come up during the day instead of seeing it as something you got to resist and struggle with. Just choose to laugh and find the humor in it, and it will move on and transform so much faster. It's like the universe just lines up to support you when you make that choice. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another daily dose of joy. Bye.